Well, welcome to another edition of the Willys America Workbench. Today we're going to talk about the Tale of Two Mavericks. Or is it? Well, stay right there. We'll be right back. Well, so what is a Maverick, you ask? Isn't that a Ford about 1967 to 72 or something like that? Well, that name came about because of a television program that came out in 1957 starring James Garner as Brett Maverick. So if you got a little gray hair like me, you remember back in the day when the promotional toys were coming out inside a box of Cracker Jacks or a box of cereal and that sort of thing. Well, this was just another promotional product that came out of Kaiser during the 1950s when they sponsored the television show Maverick. So this was called the Maverick Special. It was two-wheel drive. It had a special, they brought back the Jeepster rear view mirror. It had special upholstery, a mask on the dashboard. It had black carpet, which you'll see shortly in the back, and didn't have the oak wood strips. And it had the new chrome trim that was going to be seen later in 1961. The other thing that you'll see on Maverick is the introduction of the one-piece windshield. Now the Maverick was sold for just under $2,000. It came with hubcaps, white wall tires, but gone are the big wide whites. So with the Maverick, they did not put the oak wood strips in the cargo floor area like you see in the four-wheel drive wagons. This edition is the only one that came with black carpet in the back. 1958 was the first year of the Maverick. The dash around the instrument cluster was painted white. The cowl trim had the Kaiser Industries rocket logo, and the stainless side trim was two 1-inch pieces stacked on top of each other, repurposed from the standard trim of the 1956 to 1960 wagon. These features were only on the first 100 Mavericks built in 1958. 1961 sees some refinements and some styling changes to the two-wheel drive wagon. Most noticeably is the chrome trim package. Now, it was thought that the Maverick Special program was going to continue on after 1960. However, with the writer's strike in Hollywood and James Garner being the president of Screen Actors Guild, that didn't happen because he wasn't paid for his time, and so the actors went out in sympathy with the screenwriters and went on strike. During the time of the first edition of the Maverick Special, from 1958 to 1960, you could get a two-wheel drive wagon or you could get a two-wheel drive Maverick Special. Two different versions were offered. But in 1961, only one version is offered, and that is the two-wheel drive wagon. It still had a lot of the features of the Maverick Special of the earlier generation, with the dash mask, the column shift, but some things changed. It included putting in the L6 226 Super Hurricane motor in addition to the four-cylinder motor previously equipped in the earlier Maverick. With that, they took the firewall insulator that was on the engine side of the firewall and moved it to the inside up behind the dashboard. The two-wheel drive wagon also, they changed the interior paneling only on the two-wheel drive to include this black band with two chrome beads running down the side. And on the rear, gone is the split glass rear hatch. It's now one piece like the front glass. So back to the original question. Is it a Maverick or isn't it? Well, the advertising for Maverick Special is all gone in 1961. Even though it was intended to be, there's no advertising that shows a Maverick Special. The only vehicle available in two-wheel drive is this body style. They used this body right to the end in 62 and a half, and 63 were some leftovers. So in 62 and a half, you could actually order one of these with the overhead cam 230 Tornado engine. It was still available with the F4 134, but by 63 they were running out of bodies, and so when you got a 4-cylinder, it actually came with the overhead cam 230 body on top of it. Pretty unusual, but you got to realize that at that point the Wagoneer was already in production. In fact, the Wagoneer was already on the drawing board when this vehicle was rolling off the assembly line. So Willys wasn't putting a whole lot of money into new models, new additions, new programs, because they were putting all their eggs into the basket of the Wagoneer and Gladiator truck.